All right, Eric, your private class here.
All right.
For anyone watching this on YouTube later, we're talking about the Command app and the Keller Williams search app for consumers. So let's see if I can figure out how to share my phone.
Is this usually 30 minutes or an hour, Kevin?
They book an hour. I have a feeling this one will probably be a little shorter.
Okay. I was going to say, because I got to probably jump off around 11:30-ish.
Okay.
But obviously for recording purposes, you can keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if no one's there.
All right. So these are the two different apps. The one on the left is obviously Command, and the one on the right is the KW Consumer app that your clients can actually download and search for homes on. So I'm starting with the Command app, and it's going to open up to the home page. So kind of like in Command on the computer, you have your different tabs, but some of the tabs on the computer they haven't put out on the phone yet. For example, campaigns, so you can't send out, or you can't do Facebook ads or email campaigns or postcards through the phone. It has to be on the computer. Same with designs. You can't design on your phone yet, but hopefully that'll be coming soon, because that would be cool to be able to put a design together real quick and then share it to your social media. So what we have at the bottom are the main tabs. So on the far left, you have the home screen. That's where we're on right now. Next to that is contacts. So just like contacts. And I actually find that it's a little bit faster in the app, because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes on the computer, I'll search for someone. It takes a minute to load. Whereas here, it's pretty quick from what I've seen.
I agree.
Yeah, so I do like that. So hopefully you can log in soon, Eric. Except how do I get my, there we go. All right, so contacts is next to that. In the middle, we have tasks. So when you put, contacts on different smart plans that have reminders for calls, texts, emails, handwritten notes, these are where all the tasks are going to be. And then next to that, we have notifications. So this is where you'll get notified for, you'll see here, agent site notification. So when someone goes on your website and fills out a form or signs up, like creates an account, you'll get a notification there. And you'll also get, a push notification if you have it set up that way. So, when your phone is locked in your pocket, it'll buzz and show you that a new lead came in. The same way that Kelly used to work before they got rid of Kelly. So Command basically just replaced the Kelly app. And then on the far right, you just have a few kind of settings options. So you have your profile that you can see. I don't think you can edit it on here. It just kind of shows you your profile that you can go into your Command on your desktop and edit. Right here is a cool one, the Share My KW app link. So once you're in this Command app, you can click Share My app, and it'll bring up your text, so you can go and just text it right to someone. And that's going to be your branded app. So when someone clicks on it and downloads the KW app, you're going to be assigned as their agent. And then at the bottom, there's Command Training, which I assume just takes you into Connect. So just kind of frequently asked questions and, different, I guess, articles on the different things you can do in Command. That's kind of cool. Back over here. And I think that was it there. Let's see their opportunities. So soon there's going to be an opportunities tab in Command. I think right now you just kind of get the overview of how many you have. So to dive into it, back to the home page on the far left, you'll see at the top, it's just like the home page in Command. It's just kind of an overview of, everything going on. So at the top, we have tasks. It's kind of broken down into, what's due today, what's due, I think soon is either tomorrow or maybe the next few days. And then your past due. That's an embarrassing number to have past due. You should not have 247 people that you need to call. But that's my fault for putting too many people in our database on quarterly call lists. So within that, so say I go to my today calls and I need to call this person. The cool thing about using the app versus the computer is you can actually call them right from here. So if I were to go and click call on someone, which I don't want to actually do a call, but you'll see there it pulls up the different phone numbers you have. And then you just click call and it's going to obviously call them. And then you'll see once you hang up, it says, do you want to add this call to his timeline? So if I click yes, it's going to ask me some questions. So interaction type, it's a call, today's date. And then it gives you a couple options. Did he answer? Do you leave a voicemail or did you talk? So for, say we talked, you could go right in the description and say, it's just a sample, but it's a good way to take notes. That way, next time you go to call that person, you can pull up your activity list and see what did we talk about last time. How are you, Grace?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I was driving. I didn't have the password.
No worries. All right. So once you log that call, you just hit save at the top right. And then you want to mark that task as complete to get it out of there. And now when I go in and look for that guy, it'll show last contacted a few seconds ago. I go to my timeline, it's going to show that call right at the top. Pretty cool. So I just find it's a little bit easier than doing it through the website because you can just call or text or email right from here. Let's see if I can pull up this specific person. So you'll see here when I'm in this person's contacts, not only can I call, but I can also text or email. The cool thing about the texting is it's not going through Twilio like it is when you use the website and send out like a mass text. If I hit text, it's just going to pull up that individual person's contact that's already in my phone. And then same with email. It's not sending through your command email. It's going to use your default email app that you use on your phone. So if I hit email, it's just going to pull it up from psjacksonteam@kw.com. So, some people don't like when you send emails through command because it comes from like agent1234@kw.com instead of your personal one. And then you'll see all three of those that I just did, the call, the text, and the email. It's always going to ask if I want to add that activity to their timeline. So pretty much anything you do from the phone, it's automatically coming up right into their timeline. All right, so that was contact tasks at the top. Next one down is who to contact. So these two categories, leads never contacted. These are going to be either from, Facebook ads you're running or just people that have gone to your website and signed up. So if I go to leads never contacted, it'll show me who this person was. So I can click on them, go to their timeline. And we can see here that they went to my website and put in an inquiry on a property that was listed. And then recently active, the category next to that on the right side here, I don't have any, but that is going to be people that have used your website in the past 72 hours. So that's a good way if you do have a lot of people using your website to see who's, active on there recently.
Kevin, real quick on leads never contacted. Okay, so and I got logged in by the way on the app, so that's cool.
Oh, good.
So how do you clear that up? Meaning, obviously, several of these, and I have a few, but I have contacted them. So what do you just have to add a timeline activity or something?
Yeah, most likely. Let me try. Let's say for this person, I go to text and I cancel out of there. It's going to say, would you like to add this text? Yes. Test.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to try it too.
And then, cleared right up. So you could just add like a note in or something, I'm sure.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Add activity. Got it.
Or you could contact them and get some business.
Well, that too. That needs to be part of it. knowing that I want this out of my list of leads never contacted.
All right. So yeah, leads never contacted, recently active. The opportunities there. So one thing I just noticed when I logged in was we do all of our opportunities through the team account, but I don't think that's an option in the, unless I can, oh, there we go. I can actually change it. So right now I'm under Patty's personal account. Since we do all the business under the team, you'll see there it pops up at the bottom in the opportunities. So in there, like I said, there's not a whole bunch you can do, I don't think, but I could go into, this active client and let's see, edit. So you actually can make some edits. So that's good. What else can you do? Archive, view details. So yeah, you can kind of get the overview of it, but you can't actually go in and like add documents, or I don't think you can move them. Well, I guess you can change their stages, but I just think you can't do the commission tab or upload documents. So it's a good way to get a good overview, quick overview of your business going on. Change back to Patty's. If you, like me, put a bunch of birthdays into your contacts, which I would recommend because it's an easy touch on their birthday. At the bottom there's a birthdays in the next 30 days tab. So, once a month you could go in, see who has birthdays coming up and write all your birthday cards for that month and then just, send them out when you need to. So if I click on that, it's just going to show me the name and when their birthday is. And I think it goes by when they're coming up. So top's going to be like this person tomorrow. So I could go in there every day, see, do I have anyone coming up? And if they do, send them a text or an email. Back to home. So anniversaries coming up. So those are the home anniversaries. So, you sell someone a house, put it into command, under the anniversary part of the contact. That way going forward, you can always call them once a year and say, hey, can you believe it's been a whole year since you bought your house? Very bottom, you have your profit share for the current month. So that's a cool way to kind of keep up with your profit share as the month goes. So I know back in the day, I think with Kelly, you could only ask it what the last month's were or was. I don't think you could get a current profit share amount. So it's pretty cool. All right, next tab over, contacts. So it's very similar to, using it in the browser on your computer. At the top, you have a few different tabs. So on the far left, you have all of your contacts. I'm not sure the difference between all and contacts. My guess is contacts and leads are separated as different categories. That's what it looks like here. So for some reason, leads aren't in your contacts on your phone, but you can always go to all to see them. You have contacts, leads next to that. So leads are people you either manually go in and mark them as a lead, or they're going to be by default marked as a lead if they come in through, a Facebook ad or registering on your website. Recently active, just like I showed on that home page, this will show you when these people last were on your website, I believe, at least for the most part. So all the people with the little green check on the left side, I don't know if you can see that. It's right next to the L for lead. Those are the people that have actually created an account on the website. So like this person, Lynn, for example, does not have that check. So not sure why she's in the recently active category. But maybe it was just came in through a Facebook ad or something. And then on your computer, if you've gone and created smart views, this far tab on the right, you can go and find those different smart views you've created. So for example, we always go to our sphere to make our calls. So I can pull up our SOI and make calls right from there. But that said, these people are also on those quarterly call plans. So they're going to show up in my tasks on the home page or the next tab we get to. So just to kind of show you what we can do in here. I'm gonna look up my name. Go into there. So just like on the computer, you have all of your tags at the top, and I can add and remove them from my phone as well. So if I wanted to add or get rid of one, I can do that. One thing I like about this compared to the computer is I think on the computer, I guess they did add the search function. There used to not be a search function, so you'd have to scroll down and it would take forever. Whereas on the phone, obviously you can do it much quicker. But there is a search at the top too. So if I wanted to add in, say, open house to this person, I could do that right there. So pretty straightforward on the tags. And then under that, you have the basic information, phone number, email, address. You have the neighborhoods that they're set up for. So I don't think you can add those. Yeah, so you can't add them from your phone, but you can on your computer go in and manually add neighborhoods. That way, if they're on one of those either biweekly or monthly neighborhood nurtures, they're going to get all the neighborhoods that they're linked to. So I have myself on I think a biweekly plan. So every other week when I do get this email, it's going to show me, River Oaks, Waterford Green, all the neighborhoods that I want to keep an eye on. Did you want to ask something, Eric? Thought I saw your mute go off for a second. All good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Suggested neighborhoods. Can't really do anything there. It won't let me click them. So I guess it's just kind of for reference when you go into your command on your computer so you can add them right in. If you do have linked social media at the bottom, you can click right on that and it'll bring you to, the Facebook app or, whatever apps you have, or whatever social accounts you have linked. Have birthday, home anniversary, relationships, and then work at the bottom. And then at the very top, just like on the computer, you have your timeline. So this is all the activity that person's been through. So if I go to all, I think it defaults 7 days. I can go and look at all these different emails. So you'll see here those biweekly neighborhood updates show up right there. Scroll down, you can see, when they're subscribed and unsubscribed from smart plans, any texts you send, emails you send, phone calls you make, any notes you add in. So I always recommend looking at that prior to going to make a phone call, just to know, what you last talked about or when you last talked to someone. If they have any current or past opportunities, that's going to show up under this opportunities tab. I think this one was just a sample one I did for a class. So I can actually go and archive that right there. Next to that, we have smart plans. So these are the smart plans that person is already on. So I can go in there and view the details to see what the plan is, or I can unsubscribe them. Next to that, we have notes. So these are just the generic notes you want to add in. Maybe you didn't call them on the phone, but you saw on Facebook that they, graduated or something, had some big life change, go and add a note. That way, when you do talk to them, you can see that right in there. And then tasks, just like on that home page, if they do have any upcoming tasks, you're going to see it there. And then the last thing within these contacts is the plus sign at the bottom right corner. So from there is where you can go and add an activity like a phone call, a text, or an email. You can add a note. You could create an opportunity from your phone if you needed to. You can also add a task right there. So, if I need to call someone in 2 days for something, I could add that task and make it a call. And then last one is add to smart plans. You'll see in that smart plans tab, I can see all the smart plans they're currently on, but I can't add them. So you actually have to hit that blue plus sign and then add them to the smart plan. Confirm. So now that one will show up on the bottom there. All right. And then, oh, this is another cool feature I just saw the other day. So when you're within a contact, if you hit these three dots at the top right corner, you can actually save the contact to your phone. So if someone is in your command, but not actually, in your phone contacts, it's an easy way to, add them right in. And it's going to pull in, their address, phone number. Doesn't look like they pull in birthdays or anything, but I do recommend doing that. If you have people in there that aren't your phone, it's always good to have them in your phone. That way, if they're calling, you don't ignore them because it's a random number. Let's see. And then just like I showed you with the 3 lines at the bottom where you can share the KW app, you can also do it within the contact and send it right to that person. So I can go ahead and do that. And it's going to pull up that app link. I can add the text. All right. Pretty cool. Any questions about contacts or home? Anything we've gone over so far?
Looks like I'm sitting on looking at my phone app, but also on my computer, and it looks like it takes time to update the command contact timeline. Like I created a task from the app for a contact, and now I'm looking at it from the computer, and looks like there's a delay. And so it's not like, doesn't seem like it's real-time info.
And you refreshed it?
Yeah, I think it just, anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've never side-by-side tested them.
I was going to say, I like also that when you create a task, that you can backdate it because obviously there's things you do that weren't right now that were
yeah, that you did
a week or 2 ago or
right
2 months ago. Oh yeah, I sent them a note.
Mm-hmm.
Just so it's all tracked.
Yeah, with that, I'll usually, instead of doing a task, I'll do an activity.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I was using too, an activity.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that's good. If you forgot to put something in, like you said, then go and add it after the fact. And also good for, they have the meeting one, the top one. So like if I run into someone at the store and I think about it 2 days later, I'll go put in a meeting and say, yeah, I actually met that person the other day.
Yeah, so and this may be just a bug or still something they haven't updated, but I did refresh, and the activity that I created on the contact in the app, it does not show it in the timeline in command on my computer.
Huh.
So
pull myself up.
Anyway, we don't have to, obviously this isn't for troubleshooting, so.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though.
But yeah.
Chat here. Grace.
I can always report it to support.
Yeah, let me pull up myself real quick on my computer and see, because I just added a text in there. Timeline. Yeah, so actually on my computer, it does show that I was subscribed to the smart plan and that I sent the text. So maybe it takes a minute or two, but it should show up in your timeline. Yeah,
I'll completely close out of the site on my computer at some point too.
Yeah.
And just go back in.
Anyway, pretty cool. All right, so next on the app is the middle one, the tasks. So we kind of already talked about this, but within tasks, you can call them from there. You can reschedule. So, if you don't have time to call that person today, you can go in and reschedule it for a whole nother day. You can mark it as complete. You can view the contact. Like I said, if you're going through and making your calls, I always go and view contact, see when I last talked to them, and then go back to the task, make the call, and then hit the check. And then opportunities, so you'll see here, I actually don't use opportunity checklists. But if you do, or if anyone that's watching this does, the opportunity task right here. So these will be things like, send them a email that due diligence is up, or, whatever you use for those checklists. So they should all show up right there. Completed. Yes, I think these were sample ones that I did a while back. There's also this toggle at the top for call tasks only. So if you do use, command for a lot of reminders for sending out, handwritten notes or, anything like that. If you're going to make your calls that day, you don't want to have to scroll through a bunch of other stuff. You can always hit that call tasks only just to filter it down pretty quickly. Let's see. Next one, notifications. So kind of talked about this earlier. It's really not too much to talk about on this page, aside from, when you do get notifications for people registering, or, at the top when the commission approval is confirmed, you'll get a notification for that. And you can see on the top right for this all notifications, you can actually filter it down to, different things. I could do contacts. So consumer is where all the leads will be. So texts and calls, there's not much else on there. And then I can also go back and see the red ones. So ones that I've opened in the past will show up there. So with these, I've already seen all these. So I can hit this top right, mark all as red, and it'll clear those notifications. So now when I go back to my home page, that 11 will disappear, or it should. Yeah. So that's a good way to make sure you're always on top of your, any leads that come in. And then looks like we covered all the stuff on that last tab. So that's pretty much it for the command app. Pretty cool stuff. Like I said, my favorite part's really just because it's so fast compared to the computer, like especially for contacts.
Oh yeah.
It makes it so easy to just go through and call or text or, send emails. And I love that, I can't go into the computer and pull up a contact and text someone unless I'm using like Twilio. I like that it just links right to your phone.
Yeah.
All right, and then the consumer app. So this white one with the red letters. We'll just burn through this real quick. It's pretty quick. So the cool part is it saves when you last went into the app. So even if you close the app down, when I open it, it's going to pull up that same part of the map. And then one thing I'll just start with, because this has been one complaint that people have, is they think the app, you can't like center around yourself, because I guess the old KW app, it had a button that said home's near me, and everyone loved that. When this came out, people freaked out because they didn't think that was possible. So if anyone doesn't know, or if you need to show a consumer how to use it, it's basically up at this top where you can go and hit the search bar. There's that little arrow, which is kind of a universal sign for where I am. I just hit that. It's going to pull up my current location. And it's pretty accurate. So yeah, like I said, at the top, there's a search bar. Obviously, you can look up, cities, zip codes, specific addresses. You can even look up neighborhoods, and those neighborhoods come from next door. And then also schools, which is a cool newer feature that I don't think they had when this app first came out. So I can look up, let's see, Walden High School, and it'll pull up the whole school district. Right next to the search bar, you'll see is the list option. So if I hit that, it's going to change it away from map, and it's just going to go in a list. And then from there, you'll see the bottom pulls up with this sort by and save search. So if I wanted to sort it by, low to high or recently updated, so these will be either, brand new listings or ones that just had price changes. So that one there. When you actually go to click on a property, it's going to pull up all the details and the pictures. If you click on a picture, you can get the kind of quick view for them, or you can open them up, turn your phone on its side, and get the bigger view. It looks clear on my phone. It kind of looks a little blurry on the computer. It might just be a screen sharing kind of quirk. But you'll see here, so since I downloaded Patty's app, it's going to pull up Patty's info right there. So if this person finds this property and wants to save it or share it, or, you know, reach out to the agent they're linked to, they can just click right on her picture. Under that, you have some like Keller Insurance, and not sure what this top one is. Get home with speed, precision, and personalized experience. Assuming this is for, yeah, Keller Mortgage. So you actually have to sign a disclosure for that. You have the property description, all the details. There's a map of the neighborhood at the bottom, a kind of an overview of the market stats. So it looks like for this one, there's 4 homes for sale in this neighborhood. One thing to note, because we're in this kind of weird area where there's 2 MLSs people use, sometimes these stats, so it'll say 4 homes for sale, but it might only be 2 that's listed in both MLSs. Let's see, average days on market, average home price per square foot. What locals say, I don't know where they pull that information from, but somewhat accurate from what I've usually seen. Not sure about hipsters in this $2 million neighborhood, but maybe. Walkability, again, I'm not sure. I guess it says source to live by. I'm not sure what website that is, but I think it's just how close are you to shopping and dining and maybe bus routes too. A cool thing here, just like on the website on the on your computer, you can look up commute times. So I have these 2 saved into my account, our office address and my home address. So pretty much any property I click on, it's going to show me exactly how far it is from, you know, my work and my house. Or if I want a bike, be a long bike ride and a very long walk. Nearby schools, so it shows you public and private, which is pretty cool. I think most search websites only show you the public schools. Upcoming open houses, this one doesn't have any. There's a mortgage calculator, and then also the nearby homes. So you'll see this is the same one I clicked on. So this one is probably, so this one's FMLS. This one here is probably Georgia MLS. So there's going to be duplicates just because we're in this kind of weird area. At the bottom there, if I wanted to request a tour for this house, I could go in and select a day and time. So I'll go ahead and do that just to show you how it looks. Save, in-person, schedule tour. So I just submitted that. And then it didn't show up on my phone, but it did show up on my watch. But you will see, it's probably because I have my phone open, I didn't get it notified. But now there's that little red 1 on the command app. And you'll see if I go to notifications, it's going to show new tour request from Kevin Jackson. Check out, so it kicked me out of there. New tour request. I don't know why it's frozen right now, but it should show me the exact time that I want to see it as well. Get back out of there. All right, so we went to the map and then now we're on the list. So if I go back to map, I'll show you a couple quick things. So at the top here, we have different options for filters. So this one on the left, for sale, if I click on that, I can show myself pending if I want to, or I can get rid of pending because I don't want to see all those under contracts. Price is just a simple, I think it's only by 100,000s, so you can't get too specific on the price, but that's a way to filter it down if you want to look in a certain price point. Property type, if I only want to see condos, I could click on that. It's going to filter those out. And then if I hit more on the right side, this is where you can get a little more specific with beds, baths, square feet, year built, has parking. One cool thing I like to look at is this one on the bottom, actually the one on top of that as well. So if you're talking to a client that wants to go look at some open houses, you can send them the app and explain, once you go into the filters, you can look at only ones that have open houses. You'll see a little calendar next to the price on there. That way, when I go to that property, it's going to show open house Monday at 9, open door, of course, because they're open every day. And then the last one on that filter that I like is the price reduced in the past 7 days. So I've talked about that in some of my ad classes. I've ran ads that link to our website where it has that filter pulled up. So, I'll run an ad that says like, looking for a good deal on a house, pull up a list of homes that have dropped in price this week. And usually gets pretty good results. So let's see here. Have that filter on, don't I? Price reduced past 7 days. I don't know why it's not. There's no way all these have dropped in price. Maybe it's not working right now. Oh, that one did. 15K, 9K, 26K. Yeah. So I guess these are all ones that have just sat on the market. So you can see it right next to the price on there. There's a little down arrow with how much it's dropped. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and clear that. On the right side underneath where it says more, so top right corner, there's two options. One is view and one is draw. If I hit view, I can change it from default, just the map view, to an actual satellite view. So just like on FMLS or, Google Maps. So that's a good thing to, when you do look at a house, so you can get a kind of better idea of what the yard looks like. Go back to defaults. And then right underneath that, we have the draw function. So this is a pretty cool one, where if I hit that, it lets me drag my finger around to the area I want to look at. So say I want to look between like Lower Roswell and Little Willio, I could actually go in here and draw out my map. And it's going to filter down to only homes that are in that little area. And then the last function is at this top right corner, the save button. If I click on that, as a consumer, I can go in and create my own saved searches. So for this one, I might call it Lower Roswell. It's a custom area, and then I can choose how often do I want to be notified. So it defaults to weekly, but I could go in and say instant. As soon as a house comes up in my area, I want to be notified. And not only is it going to email, but if I click on this push notifications, then me as the consumer, I don't have to keep an eye on my email 24/7. I'll actually get a notification on my phone that says, hey, a new house popped up in your Lower Roswell search. I'm going to save that and test it out on myself.
Kevin, now was that, just to clarify, I see, okay, so you're saying you save searches in the top right. I see the save button. Now, are you logged in as you, the realtor, or you as the consumer?
Yeah, this is my consumer account.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So for anyone else who watches this later, I recommend when you do download this app is create an account for you, pretending to be a consumer essentially. So you're not going to be using your command to log in. You're going to be creating a new account as a consumer with yourself linked as the agent. That way, when you play around with this stuff, you can see how it translates back to the website. Let me refresh that real quick. See if it loaded. Yeah, hadn't loaded yet. But essentially what will happen is, since I just saved this search, me as the agent, if I pull up, this Kevin Jackson contact, it should show in the timeline, Kevin went in and created this search in this area. So it kind of gives you a chance to keep up with what they're looking at. And that is pretty much it on the map side. Next to that, we have the feed. So this is where you as the client or your client and you as the agent can kind of communicate back and forth on, your saved searches and what questions they might have. Oh, it's taking so long here. And then you can also have co-buyers. So if you have spouses you're working with, they can link their accounts together and kind of collaborate with their own accounts, but talking to each other through the KW app. I'm not sure why that save search is taking so long, but essentially that's where like new properties are going to show up within that client's save searches. And then if they go to the top right corner and hit settings, they can see the different searches they have. So I can go and, get rid of Lower Roswell if I wanted to. Update. Why is it taking so long? Middle tab on the bottom is the buying and selling guides, which I don't know a ton of agents who use this function, but I really do like it. I think it's, a cool feature. You just got to kind of take the time to design them to how you run your business. But essentially you go into your computer in Command, you go down to the consumer tab, and you can edit these guides for exactly the process of the buying and selling. That way, when the client downloads your app or goes on their computer to the website and logs in, they can actually go through the process from right here. So if client Kevin Jackson was going to sell his house, I could tell him, go download this app and pull up the selling guide. And then Kevin goes in here and looks up, all right, first step of selling is listing preparation. Take a look at it. I go and prepare my house. I can mark that step as completed and then go on to the next one. So I like the idea for like under contract, kind of explaining to them, you're going to have your due diligence. Here's everything that goes on in due diligence. Then you have your financing and your appraisal. And you as the agent get notified, all right, they mark that step off. So, it's kind of an easy way to keep up with everything they're doing and everything you're doing as the agent. Saved home. So on that map search, if I wanted to save this one, I could hit that little heart and choose which category or collection I want to put it in. So that one, I could put it in Woodstock. And then now when I go to saved, I can actually pull up, that collection for Woodstock or, whichever saved list I want to. And then last one is on the bottom right, the more category. So this top one, co-buyers, what I was talking about, where like spouses or friends who are buying a house together can link their apps. So I hit co-buyer, and then I think you put in their email and it sends them a link to kind of merge them together. Your account, so you can actually go in here. Again, this is for the consumer, not for the agent, but they can go in, change their profile, change their password, leave feedback for the app, which actually goes to, I guess, KW, their app developing team, their labs team. Let's see, notifications. So you have the option of, what kind of notifications do you want, push or email, or the frequency of those emails. History, you can see all the different houses you've looked at in the past. And then there's a couple built-in links for Keller Covered, Keller Mortgage, Keller Offers, the mortgage calculator, pretty much all the stuff that was on the property when we pulled it up individually. And then at the bottom, if they want to go and share the KW app, they can do that. And again, that's going to be the branded app. So if your client sends the app to someone else, it's going to be branded to you as well. So encourage your users to go and share it. Legal mumbo jumbo, and then sign out. And that is pretty much it. Went through a lot. Took longer than I thought. You enjoy your private?
Yeah, it's good stuff. And so just to clarify, so everything you just showed, obviously in the consumer app, meaning the KW app, as a consumer, when they save the favorites, we as the agent will see it in the Command mobile app or the desktop version, obviously, because I get those collections. Correct. Of homes saved and things like that. So you are obviously showing all the steps of what our buyers and sellers would be doing. And then, yeah, it shows up as saved homes and collections, favorites in our timeline, which I like that.
Correct. Yeah. It looks like that one hasn't shown up yet. That one I just saved, but it should. Might just take a few minutes. But yeah, the transparency between the two is pretty cool. I know that's something that got everyone excited when they first talked about this new website and app and Command and everything was, the connectivity of, everything your client's doing, you can see, and kind of this one-stop consumer experience. Pretty cool. Yeah. And then, what was I going to say? I think they were talking about some kind of extra guide that would come out eventually for like home maintenance. So like you sell someone a house, they now live there. They could go into the guide and see like home maintenance tips or like a calendar when to change air filters and, do that kind of stuff. I don't know when or if that's coming out, but that was one thing I thought was pretty cool. Kind of keep you in touch with them the whole time.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're just kind of talking about like going through Command and setting up smart plans to remind people of, certain tasks. But anyway, pretty cool.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Good tips.
Yeah, good deal. Glad you could hang out the whole time because I would have gotten lonely.
Yeah, I was able to stay on. So, all right, I will talk to you later.
Cool. Yeah, hope to see you soon.
Yes, sir. Take care. Thanks.
Yeah.